Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to look at our second look at 3D figures and our first look into surface area of those 3D figures. Today we're going to try to find the surface area of prisms and cylinders. As we can see here, we have a prism on our first slide. Let's try to figure out how many bases, altitudes, lateral edges, and lateral faces there are on this prism. First of all, it should be obvious that this is a hexagonal prism. Okay, why is it a hexagonal prism? Because you can tell every non-rectangle is a hexagon. Okay, the bases. For every prism, we know there are two bases. And what are the bases? So again, don't get forced into this thought that the bottom has to be a base. That is not true. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. In prisms, the non-rectangles are bases, unless of course it's a rectangular prism where everything's a rectangle. But if there are shapes that are not rectangles, those are your bases. So in this case, the two hexagons are the bases of this figure. The heights. Okay, there's only one height, technically speaking, but we can find it all over the place in this figure. Okay, all the lines that connect the two bases together would represent the height of this figure. Okay, and in fact, if you drew another one in the middle of any of these lines as well, but we don't need to when we have 6 already. I gave you the answer there. There are 6 altitudes. And just so happens the lateral edges are the same as the altitudes. That's true in all prisms. Lateral edges are the heights of prisms. Okay, and the last thing is lateral faces. Okay, that is also going to be 6. Because this is a hexagonal prism. Hexagon meaning 6. So this one up here is 1, and then right here is another, that's 2. The one in the back is 3, the one kind of the bottom here is 4, the other one in the bottom here is 5, and the one right in front of us here is 6. So if we kind of just go around numbering those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are 6 lateral faces in this shape. So total surface area, we denote that as T for total surface area. Finding the area of only the lateral faces, which means every face except for the bases, is called lateral area, which we denote as L. So let's go right into our first example here. It says, find the surface area of this right rectangular prism. Okay, so what you see here is we see 6 rectangles. Okay. This is 4 over here, this is 4, this is 4. All the heights here are 3, and all of these are 5. Okay, so we see 6 sides. So it's going to go around and we're going to do the area of each of them individually. So let's start with the top there. The top would be 5 times 4, because that's how you find the area of a rectangle, right? Length times width, which is 20. Okay, keep in mind there are 2 of those, right? 2 of those. All right, now let's do the left side. The left side is length times width, 3 times 4, which is 12. And again, keep in mind that there are 2 of those. And if we did the front, we would be doing 3 times 5, which is 15. And once again, keep in mind there are 2 of those, one in the front, one in the back. So for our total area here, we're going to do 2 times 20 for the top and bottom, 2 times 12 for the left and right, and 2 times 15 for the front and back. That would give us a total of 94 square centimeters. Okay, you could also have actually found all 6 sides, but you'd end up finding 20, 12, and 15 twice. Okay, here we have a triangular prism, and we're being asked to find the lateral area and the surface area. So to find the lateral area, we want to just think, all right, I want to find everything except for the triangles. I want to find all the rectangles. Okay, anytime you're asked to find the lateral area of a prism, you want to find all of the rectangles area added together. Okay, so these two triangles are obviously not rectangles, so they're not part of the lateral area. Okay, so for the lateral area, we have 3 rectangles to find. Okay, keep in mind this is 20 and this is 20, and this is 8 and this is 6 over here. Well, the first thing we should probably do is find the length of this side here, and we can do that by using the Pythagorean theorem. So if we call it x, then we have it 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared. And just solving that, we would get our side to be 10. Which means the side over here is also 10. All right, so find the lateral area. One of the rectangles would be 20 times 10. The bottom rectangle would be 20 times 6. And the rectangle that's in the back would be 20 times 8. And if we add those all together, our lateral area would be 480 square inches. All right, now to get the total, what we need to do is we need to find the area of those triangles. Remember, the area of a triangle is just base times height over 2, so 6 times 8 over 2. Remember, the two sides have to be perpendicular for them to be the base and the height. And that'd be 48. And remember, there are 2 of those. So, for our total area, we're going to take our lateral, and we're going to add in the 2 triangles. And our total surface area would be 576 square inches. All right, example 3. Now we have a hexagonal prism like we had in the first slide. Okay, regular prism it says, which means all the sides of the hexagon are the same. All right, so let's start with our lateral area. Keep in mind that all the sides are the same. So that means all these rectangles along the side are all congruent. So all we gotta do is find the area of one of them, and that would be the area of all of them. Okay, so all these heights must be 48, which means we can do the area of one of these rectangles to be 14 times 48. And we're gonna multiply that by 6 because there are 6 of those rectangles. So our total lateral area here would be 4,032 square feet. All right, now we got to do the area of the hexagon. So area of the hexagon here. And remember that is area, apothem times perimeter over 2. So in order to do this, I'm going to draw. Remember we did this last chapter. I'm going to draw that little triangle down here. And I'm going to draw it again over here just to make it a little bit bigger for us to see. I know this side is 7, and I don't know my apothem. All right. Remember also, what we got to do is we got to find this angle here. So to do that, we're going to do theta equals 360 over 6, which is 60. And if we cut that in half, this angle here is 30. So now I can do tangent of 30 equals 7 over apothem, which means our apothem is 7 over tangent 30. And using our calculator, we get that the apothem is approximately 12.124. So back over here, I know my apothem is 12.124. I know the perimeter of that hexagon is just 14 times 6, which is 84, over 2. So multiplying those 12 times 84 over 2, we get the area of this hexagon to be approximately 509.223. Keep in mind that there are two of those, right? So our total area then is going to be 4,032 plus 2 times 509.223. And our final answer is going to be 5,050.45 square feet. Now we're going to talk about cylinders. Cylinders are much easier than prisms. For cylinders, can we figure out where all these belong? Yeah, the bases here are just the two circles. The top circle and the bottom circle. There's always two bases for a circle, and there are always circles. Sorry, always two bases for a cylinder. There's always circles. The altitude of the height, now there's not an actual line here, but the altitude of the height is the made-up line that connects the two bases together there. So that would be our height. Okay, now none of those actually exist. You know, if you see a cylinder, there's no like lines that lead you from top to bottom. But if we measure from the top to bottom, that would be the height of the cylinder. Okay? Remember from last section, the net of a cylinder, right? Here's the net of a cylinder. So it's two circles and then a rectangle. So to find the lateral area of a cylinder, all we're trying to do is find the area of this rectangle. All right, well, let's figure out what is each of those pieces. Okay, this would be the height of it. And then on this side, this would actually be the circumference of the circle. So the lateral area of a right cylinder is going to be the circumference of the circle times the height of the figure. And we know the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, so we can write that as 2 pi r times h. To get the surface area then, all we're going to do is tack on the two area of the circle, the two circles, top and bottom. So I guess we could write this as 2 pi r h plus 2, and then the area of a circle is pi r squared. So let's take a look at one. We're going to find all these areas, lateral area and surface area, both exact and rounded. So let's start with the lateral area. The lateral area, remember, is just circumference times the height. So that would be 2 pi times radius times the height. And remember, for exact area, we're not going to type pi into our calculator. And we get 420 pi square meters. Now, if we want to get the rounded answer, we can type that into our calculator then, and we can get 1,319.47 square meters. So let's get the area of the circle next. Area of the circle is just pi r squared, which is 100 pi. So then to get our total surface area, we're going to take our lateral, and we're going to add in 2 of the circles. And that would give us 620 pi square meters. And of course, if we wanted the rounded answer, then we can type that into our calculator and get 1,947.79 square meters. Okay, the last 3, I would like you to try those on your own. So you can pause the video, and then when you're done, you can come back and unpause it, and I will go through my work on it as well. But go ahead and try each of those 3 practice problems and come back when you're ready. All right, there's my work and answer for example 5. Now there are 2 of each of the left and right, 2 of the top and bottom, and then 2 of the front and back. So you don't have to do all 6 sides. You can just do 3 sides and multiply them each by 2. For number 6, doing Pythagorean theorem will get you that this side is 5. So this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So for the lateral area, the 3 rectangles, you're going to do 3 times 2 plus 4 times 2 plus 5 times 2, and that will be your lateral area, which is 24 square inches. And then you got to do the area of the triangle, which is base times height over 2, or 6. And remember, there are 2 of those, right? So our total area then would be 24 plus 2 times 6, which is 36 square inches. And the last one here, find the exact lateral and surface area. So for lateral, it's just circumference times height, which is 2 pi r times height. So our lateral area is 168 pi square centimeters. And then to get the total, we're just going to add in 2 of the circles, right? So let's get the circle area. So the area of the circle here would be pi r squared, which is 49 pi. So 168 plus 2 times 49 will get you 264. So our total surface area is 264 pi square centimeters. That'll do it for cylinders and prisms. Next time we'll take a look at cones and